I just feel so spontaneous, like every day. And I hope that this inspires you to be more spontaneous with your life. I'm honestly, I'm gonna do a little speed drawing because something's been on my mind that I really want to draw, and I figured there's never gonna be a perfect time to draw it, and eventually I'll forget that I ever had this idea, and it will never be brought into the world because I didn't take the time to just draw it. And every time you do something, you take away from something else. Sands of time. You can't have the grain of sand on the top and the bottom at the same time, good viber. You can only have them one airplane at a time, and that's okay. Alright, so let us not be discouraged by this fact. Let us celebrate because it is great. You know, I realized, and I was just reading, Building a Second Brain, and you know, the author was just sharing an example of an article that they wrote and how they use their method of highlighting and bolding and underlining to distill the information. And it was an example of fear and how when we are in a panic state, in a fearful state, we distill the time. And that was really interesting to think about, like the time becomes distilled and like what does that even mean, and how does that work? I don't know, man. It just really brought to light, I think, for me a little bit about this thought process. Anyways, I don't want to get too much on a tangent, but I thought it was quite a lovely thing to think about, and so that's kind of why I brought it up. Okay, I just wanted you to know there's never going to be a good time for whatever it is that you're wanting to do or what you're wanting to see, and that's okay. But you know what? There's a beautiful thing that we can do, and it is taking action. And when we take action, we open up the realities and the possibilities to come to us and to be known and to be seen. And it's pretty freaking cool, and I'm really happy that I've been exploring and doing this more. So, we're gonna draw, we're gonna talk about it, we're gonna make this a fast one because I only have so much time, and I want to make sure that I'm using my time wisely. I don't want to rush, but geez, I really do need to allow myself the time and space to do this. So let's see what we got here. Okay. Oh, interesting. Let's do that. Yeah. Interesting. I wonder if they're even connected. You know what I mean, right? You know what I mean. I think you know what I mean. Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. Okay. Alright, now we're actually connected, so we can draw. So time is really interesting. I think we can all agree that, like, it is the most valuable thing in the world. And let me turn on the comments, so if anybody ever comes, I can say hi. What's up, good vibe? Yeah, so the big thing I wanted to just highlight in this very quick draw with me, I guess, video is that there will never be the perfect time. It does not exist, and if you don't make time for things, the time will never actually be there. So you need to make time. You need to give yourself that permission to take action and prioritize these things, because that's the only way to do it. I think, so I'm like getting ready to quit my job that I've been doing as a junior assistant manager, and I quite enjoyed it. Simple tasks, but I just know that office jobs in which I am doing anything on a spreadsheet that is repetitive, such as inputting 6-digit numbers into a spreadsheet and copy and pasting them into 5 different areas, I find myself nodding off and falling asleep very, very easily, very soon, you know, and I just trying not to, I'm trying to to understand that, okay, like, it does teach me a big lesson, paying more attention to detail, but when the time is done, the time is done, and you gotta know when to get up and go to the next thing. So that's kind of where I'm at, and kind of what I'm understanding a little bit more each day. So here I'm just drawing a skeleton, and I'm not like pro. I don't really draw skeletons that much. In fact, I feel like if I looked up a skeleton to get a good reference, that could be a great thing, and then like just morph it. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. Skeleton. Okay? 3D skeleton anatomy, that's too much for me, so we're just gonna say skeleton head. And we're just gonna look that up and see what pops up. Okay, maybe good things, not so good things. Maybe we get the kind of head that we're going for. That one's nice, that one's nice. I like both of these. Which one caught my eye first? I really like the just kind of the way that this one is looking. So we're gonna take that, we're gonna take this. Can we just like take an image? You know what, we learn new things every day. I feel like I can take this image and I can just drag it in here. Man, I thought that was gonna work, but it did not work, so we're gonna have to do something else. Man, I thought that was gonna be cool transition, but whatever. Close enough, right? Close enough. Alright, we got a giant ass skeleton in here now. I think it's really cool when artists use skeletons in their drawing because, you know, it's a cool thing. That's not really what I was gonna say. This wasn't the intention of what I wanted to say, guys. Perfect. Really, I wanted to acknowledge how the skeletons are a symbol for time and how we are only going to be alive for so long, and when we die, it is so, when it is done, and then there's no longer anything else other than that. So I'm going to close. I'm also going to close this. Don't worry, spreadsheets, you know. And then clear my head. Even though you can barely see them, for me it does help to clear. Now I'm going to take this and kind of warp it into a shape that looks more skeleton-like, but still has very much of the characteristics. Now I do like that I can kind of just go at my own pace and, you know, have fun with it. Okay, but yeah, so let's get this going. Alright, I don't want to get too lost in the sauce here. We're just kind of going for overall. We're gonna just take that away completely and work on this. So timing is something really interesting. I think for a while I was wondering why things weren't going out. Maybe they weren't progressing the way that I wanted them to, and obviously it was because I wasn't spending my time and actively doing, you know, the most that I could do in that time to progress them. You know, it's beautiful because something like a plant, when it is planted, you don't have to actively, you know, force the plant to grow. It knows that it's, you know, it's gonna grow. It's gonna grow. How do skeletons have teeth? Like, how does that work? Anybody? Anyways. So I feel like the whole idea of having a beautiful, divinely synchronized moment of time where everything just kind of flows seamlessly, it's a bit silly and not like super realistic, you know? I feel like things kind of, you know, they take time, and then when the time is done, you know, the time is done. Alright, because I'm doing this as a fast drawing, I'm not even worrying too much about details. I just really have this like vision, and I see this vision, and I'm going to copy this. I'm actually going to drag it out of here into the gallery. I'm going to make another layer with just it. So that looks pretty horrendous. Let's just take off the background layer for now. Okay, now we're talking. Okay, so now I'm gonna do animation assist because again, this is just a vision I had in my head. And if I didn't take action right now, I know that it would just not be something that I would ever create. You know, it's just time, you know, things get in the way. You say you're going to do something, you have a million ideas, but then when do you actually take the time to do it? Unless somebody reminds you, or you read something, or see something, or consume something usually, that triggers something within you that reminds you about this. For the most part, you just let it go. You just let it go. And it happens to the best of us. So how can we take this understanding? I'm just going to copy this one as well, bring it over. You know, I could have started with a new slate, but for whatever reason I wanted to, I don't know, give myself a challenge or something like that. Obviously not. It's just, sometimes that's how it works. And let's do the overlay. Now that looks a little weird, but we're actually going to take the background and we're going to put it back on. Oh my god. Okay. That's looking better. I just wanted to make sure I got the teeth in. So I guess the thing is that we always think that, okay, I'm gonna do this after this, or after this, or XYZ, or after some kind of external validation validates what you need so that you actually take the physical action so that it can be validated, whatever it is. Does that make sense? I think I'm going on a little bit of a rant, but I've definitely been in the position where even like putting in my 2 weeks for this job, a part of me is like, I got cold feet yesterday when I was going to, just because there was like no good time. They were kind of busy, but I know I have to. Like, I know that this is something I have to do because, you know, if you want to put in 2 weeks, you gotta have 2 weeks, and I know when I'm gonna leave, so I kind of calculated it and sat there and thought, okay, I have to do it by Friday. Anyways, I'm thinking I'm going to send them a text just to kind of warm them up and let them know. Now, with that being said, let's just keep going. If I waited for the right time for them to say, hey, is there something you need? And I'm like, oh yeah. Yes, there is. I don't know if that right time would ever come. You know what I mean? So don't mind me just kind of filling the icons. Sheesh. Okay. Yeah, I think that's kind of what we're going for. Yeah, I kind of see it. Don't worry, we're gonna get there, we're gonna make this the background. Okay, so now there's really nothing else happening here. Okay, so we're gonna add some frames that go in between. So I guess always waiting for this window for perfect timing to come. Like, they're gonna ask, so hey, are you happy here? Are you thinking about leaving? So what's your future plans? And to be like, oh, I'm so happy you asked. I'm actually planning on leaving here tomorrow, because I got an offer for another position somewhere else, or I'm falling asleep at the keyboard and I realize that that's not the best, and you know, I'm going to look elsewhere for employment, or I'm leaving to San Francisco in less than a month and I can no longer work here unless you want to hire me remotely. You know, I think those you know, that's kind of what I'm getting at right now. It's like, okay, all right, this is what it is, and what can we do with this? What can we do? There's only so much I can do with what I'm given, and I can't just wait for the right time for them to give me the right time. I need to just make the time myself. Guys, if you get nothing else from this video, it is make the time to do the thing. Just do the thing. Just do the thing. Okay? Just make the time and do the thing, because you will not regret it. You cannot regret making time to do the thing, because when you do the thing, it's good and it makes time for you, because it says, oh, you are aware of time and you are being an active creator instead of reactor of the time. And so I will react to you accordingly. And so I think that is really what this video is this video is all about, you know, being a active creator of time versus a passive you know, person that just views time as something that comes by and then goes, and then what do? It just comes and it goes, and you yourself have no control over how you spend your time, when in reality you do, every single second. This isn't to upset anyone who spends their time doing things that maybe they feel are less than ideal, because that could be all of us. I think we all spend some time doing things less than ideal, but when you look at a flower that grows and you think, I wonder if that flower ever thinks, oh, I'm spending time just sitting here not doing much, when in reality, you know, that flower is creating food for itself. It's growing deeper in its roots, and it's creating beautiful just growth everywhere. And that's just what the flower does. And it does it so so effortlessly. So you know that even those off days where you feel like you are not spending your time maybe as much as you would want, actually are being spent exactly as they should, to develop you into the being that you are. Okay, so that's my I guess that's my spiel of taking the time to do the things, because if you don't, somebody will take your time. And I know at this company they've just trying to get me to work more and more hours and pay me less and less money, which I personally am not a fan of. So you're not gonna see me work there much longer, but again, time is so important, and knowing the worth of your time is another amazing thing, and who you spend your time with. I honestly have been very diligent with even going on social media, looking at DMs, or even consuming content, because I know it can be a rabbit hole. You respond to one person, they want to have a conversation. Next thing you know, 3 hours have passed, and you haven't gotten maybe as much as you would like accomplished. Sometimes that's fine, but sometimes you have to know when to set those boundaries and allow yourself to move forward with what you are here to do. So you can kind of see the progression of this painting. We're just adding frames little by little. I'm not going to go too much more crazy with the paint. I actually feel like it should stop now and start getting a little thinner at the top of the funnel, and maybe even a little drip there. And let's see what we have so far. Okay, so we're getting there. Again, time is such an important thing, and if I didn't sit down to start this, I know that this piece would never come to fruition, because it's just one of those things, right? One of those ideas. It could be a business idea for you. You could have this really cool idea that actually helps a lot of people, but you just don't give it the time. Maybe it's because you're working a job or taking care of family, or something else, just entirely just scrolling and watching movies, whatever it is, and you forget eventually the beautiful idea that you had because you didn't take action on it, so it didn't stay. And so that happens, I think, to many of us, and it happens all the time. If you don't pay attention, and if you don't take action, or intentionally make the time to take action, that's not going to happen. Did I plan this? Not at all. But I knew that something in my heart was like, you need to sit down. You need to make this video. You need to draw that drawing, because it is something that I think is going to have an interesting message. And will I be able to finish it? I said to my sister, I'm going to go over to your house. I'm going to sleep over. I'm going to text my boss to let him know that I will be going in later tomorrow. and also giving in my 2 weeks because honestly, it's my time, and instead of running around, which I had panic attacks about schedules before, just being honest and communicating clearly, like, yo, this is the time I have, this is how I want to spend it. Honestly, most people will be like, okay, it's your time. So, do whatever you want. Do what's best for you. I talked to a founder of a company that I really, really love and appreciate, and they literally just said, I told them that I'm probably going to be 2 days late to the school that I'll be attending over there that they created. And they literally said, that's fine, just do what's best for you. So, it's recommended because on their timeline, that's the ideal time. But for me, the ideal time looks like being 2 days late to the school. And I think that's okay. So, yeah, figure out what works for you and what you appreciate doing and what you enjoy spending time doing, and then do more of it because you can. And just keep doing more of it. This is coming out really cool. I really like how it's coming out. I'm gonna go ahead and maybe do a little drip here and a little drip here. No, okay, good. And then a little less here. Okay, and a little bit here. And we're gonna just go ahead and start that there. And this one is going to go and on that. And I love drawing like dripping liquid, with bold lines. I don't know. It's just fun. And it's definitely getting there. This is looking kind of creepy, not gonna lie, but it is looking like how I envisioned for the main part. And guess what? It's literally it's been 20 minutes. Holy moly, it's already been so much time. How did that happen? So, with that being said, I can't believe that I just spent 20 minutes illustrating this with you guys. I do have somewhere to go, but I started it, and that's the important part. Okay, you don't have to finish it, but you should start. Because guess what? We now have this really cool illustration that I'm gonna keep working on because I have the overall vision kind of down. And if I feel a little worried, like, oh man, what if I don't know what that end piece looks like, then take these few moments to just draw out what that end piece could look like. Which in my case is going to be a lot of red dripping down here. Not that much over here, just a little bit. Okay, actually, I want, okay, and yeah, just put that there, put that there, put that there, and put that there, put that there. There. Now this is getting quite messy, but don't worry, trust the process. See what we got here. Okay, don't want it to totally cover up that tooth, but it is probably going to cover up a lot of everything around it. So yeah, that's looking good. So right now I'm just like fleshing out the end results of the drip. Like, what does the end of this look like? Because then, guess what? I can just connect the dots. So even if I don't have enough time to get to the finish line, I can still take time to visualize what that finish line looks like, and then it's a lot easier in terms of brain power to reverse engineer what that looks like and just go from there, go off. And you can see me kind of going off, just like gonna go ahead, connect these dots, fill that in, just go ahead, put this in here, and put that in there, and we're gonna go ahead, and we're just gonna go ahead, and there's not gonna be much, I feel like there's gonna be much tooth left in there, probably all will be red, and maybe even a little bit drip from this eye. Is that too much? Yeah. Okay, and then, you know what, we're not even gonna go too crazy. We're just gonna, just make a little puddle here. I know I said we're not going too crazy, and then whoosh, I put all this red. This will not be blood. This actually will be rainbow. I'm not gonna talk too much about it right now, but I will be posting this on my alt account. That is, on juice. Okay, I can spell. Box.jpg. Okay, and that is where I have all my art Instagram stuff. So if you're curious about the end results of what we get at the ending, follow me on juicebox.jpg on Instagram, and you will see the end of this beautiful illustration when it's done. But again, that picture is how you feel right now. Well, I'm happy that I was able to illustrate it. It's still a work in progress, but we see where we're going with it, and I just think it's really cool that, like, we can do something like from your brain, you can put this into the world. And this is just a small example of manifestation and how it works and all that cool stuff. So I feel like, you have the ability to do this. You have the ability to bring things that have never been seen before into life. And I think that's what makes us feel alive. So even if it's something as small as, talking to a stranger and letting them know that you like their shirt, you're bringing some joy to life just by doing that. So check it out, do something cool and make something cool and just enjoy your life and all that you can, because it is literally magic, you already know. And so I hope that you enjoyed this little talk. It was longer than expected, but you have the power to use your time to create whatever you want into the physical reality. But you have to be aware of this, you have to be intentional, and you have to, take action. You have to take action. There's never going to be a perfect time. I know there's never going to be a perfect time to tell my boss I'm quitting, because nobody wants to hear that. It's an awkward conversation sometimes. But it has to happen, and sometimes there are scarier things that I have to do. There's never going to be a perfect time to do my defensive driving course. I just need to do it, or register my car insurance. You just got to do it, right? And so these are the things that we're learning, and that's a part of adulting and manifesting and realizing that you are magical. So enjoy it. Thank you. And you can manifest freedom. Be very clear and specific on what freedom looks like to you. Make a checklist. What does that checklist entail? And then slowly, you will start to bring that into fruition. Take those actions. Honestly, you are depicting where your life goes every single moment. The smallest little actions will compound over time. So just be. I love it. You don't even need to try. You just are. So you already are free. Allow yourself to be. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you. I appreciate you. And I'll see you later. Bye.